Yes. Good morning, Nick. How are you? There you go. See how that works. Sorry, gotta experimenting. It worked, kind of. It kind of worked. Like I said, I picked up a new camera yesterday. Morning, Nick. Good morning, Peter. I'd like to get a sort of a take on, we're going to experiment a little bit here. Hopefully things. Let's see, again, I can't answer to the autofocus on this thing. Like I said, I'm just playing with it. Seems brighter in the room. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out if the thing is trying to focus on my face or if it's trying to, or what's it going to focus on. Yeah, it's a little bit of a bummer here. I'm in the process now of, with this new camera, possibly relocating, instead of using a laptop to drive the content, to use a small PC that I have. I might experiment with that in the next day or so, see how that works. And if that's the case, then I'll move a monitor over here, small computer, mic and camera, and go from there. But anyway, so this morning, as you may or may not have seen, I'm going to start working on the masking of this. I did not get to do it yesterday. Yesterday was a day spent with family. So we're going to just finish off, redo some of the masking here. In preparation. Turning into a true influencer. Now, what it actually is, there's actually a good reason for it. By the way, my laptop is now the direction I'm looking at. That's where the laptop screen is. The monitor is right there. The camera's right there. The reason I'm doing this is because this laptop is literally propped on top of I'll show you. Nice thing about being able to do that. It's literally propped on top of that. And that just makes it so much more difficult to manage. And even now, this camera is temporarily placed in the drawer here, like this. Look at this, all fucked up. Until I can get some of this sussed out. But I wanted to see if this camera, I mean, it didn't cost a lot, but I wanted to see if this camera was actually going to make things better. It seems, if nothing else, to frame things a little bit better. And I think you may have a little bit more coverage here. We'll see. Somehow the fisheye distortion just fits you. Stick your favorite close to the camera and reproduce old Busta Rhymes videos. Nice. Is it really fisheyeing a little bit? Maybe it is a little bit. It's kind of hard to tell. I wouldn't mind getting, again, I'm going to figure this thing out. The other thing is, right now, what's driving this thing is a Linux laptop. I think I can do a lot more management of the camera using a, what they call it, using a Windows machine instead. We'll see. Anyway. All right. So we are now going to, I'm curious if it seems like things are sharper. Like, is the imagery sharper? Is anything better, or is it just, I mean, on your end, is it the same? All right, let's get this down here again. And then, as you guys saw, once we're done with this today, I'm going to start doing cleanup work down here, because if you saw the description, I want to get this desk cleaned off. We were joking about a 4x4 patch of work that we do, and I'm kind of done with this. So going to start doing some more holistic cleanup, and going to try to remember. I might even label stuff over here try to remember where shit goes. At the same time, I have picked up, and this is going to be the next few days, because as we start working more and more on this thing until I get the water slides, the next couple days, it's probably not going to be any work on it. And I don't really want to start another model or continue with the Harpy. I also picked up a couple of cheap bins. I want to start putting some models in there, some shelf queens in there for better storage. So anyway, that's what we're going to be working on today. But first things first. Let's see. Let's get the knife out. You can see more crisp and sharp. Okay, that's good. Look at the vertical lines, bend more. Oh yeah, no, I see that right around the yeah, right there. Yeah, I see it's a little bit more. But I think at the same time, I know when I had the using the laptop camera, it seemed that the area the area that I was working on was more compressed. So I'm hoping this camera is actually a little bit closer to me, but it seems you're right. It is fisheyeing. It's a little bit more wide angling a little bit. Hopefully this will help a bit. We'll see. Sharper and richer in color. Harpy is being shelved. No, the Harpy is not going to be shelved. But for example, guys, I mean, here, I'm going to pull this out again, just so you guys see. You guys are going to see a lot of stuff. This is the nice thing about having this camera. But underneath the desk, that's where all of the shelf queens, or many of the shelf queens, are stored. And like the task, the Kubli box can actually even probably be broken down. The gun cannon is in pieces in that container. It's been like that for years. The Baowu may actually get tossed. I haven't decided yet on it, but recently completed the Galleon, and over there you see the SSX, the Arcadia from Eternal Road SXX from Captain Harlock, and then the Demarge. Just boxing that stuff up. I've got some other ones too, like for example, like up here, I've got this couple of these tanks here, just sitting here. And all that stuff is just clogging up space. And I think what it does is, what's the term? Sorry, guys, I'm gonna try to get this thing. There we go. What's the term that that's used? It's almost like an analysis paralysis. There's just so much information that you become paralyzed. The shelf is being harpied again. Nice. Hoarding? No, not hoarding. But I do know that I don't think it's, we tend to joke. And Peter, you bring up a very interesting point. I think there's a big joke amongst all modelers that, that I don't know of any modeler who started a project and hasn't finished one. I mean, that hasn't started a project and has not finished one, meaning that they table it. Either it goes away for another day, or they get distracted by something new. There's always something that a modeler does, right? That there's just the new shiny thing. And I'm certainly guilty of it. I'm not going to hide it. But I also know I'm not unique in this. I am not unique. Anyway, all right. So let's see. Let's get some masking done. So let's get the glasses. Madre de fucking Dios. Anyway, happy Sunday, everybody. Hope you all had a good time on your Saturday. We My wife and I went into Cambridge yesterday to go buy her a new laptop. Went to one of my favorite shopping experiences. I love Micro Center, and that's where I got the camera. Micro Center is basically I believe it's a national organization. Hey, you leave Mary out of this. Nice. What's going on, Robert? But we went to Micro Center, picked up her laptop. I got a new camera. I mean, just and I got a USB stick. Where the fuck did that go? Shit, gotta find that. I need that for a project. Micro Center is the last bastion of actual computing. Last bastion? I don't know about that. I don't think I'd go that far, but I do think it's a fun place to visit. You know, didn't even bother to go into the 3D printer section. I was tempted to do that, but my wife was with me, and I'm sure it would have been well, we don't need one right now, which is fine, but I'm hoping by the end of the year I'll get a 3D printer. We'll see. Not resin. I'm not going to be doing a resin printer. Micro Center closed. Really? Did it really? I mean, Houston's huge. How many did you have down that way, Nick? Won't get prices or stock like them anywhere else these days. Not since Oh yeah, CompUSA was, man, that was ancient times. They closed, huh? Yeah. Speaking of, so yesterday also, I've got, not personally, but our family has, I take it back. I guess I do have a couple of older iPods from like the mid-late 2000s. iPods, old iPhones, old iPads. We just had all of this stuff kicking around for a while. And finally just, went through them, blasted all the stuff off it as much as I could, except for devices that had failed, bagged them, and was bringing them back to the Apple store. And because I think they do restocking of their own stuff. Recycling of their own stuff. I brought it with me, and the store that we brought them to had closed. When my wife and I were walking through this dead mall, so all I wanted to do was just drop off these devices. She did a little shopping at a Talbot's there, but we were just going there to just drop these things off, and the Apple store had closed. I'm like, fuck. 2, I think, maybe 3. Well, if you got a couple, that's at least good. Computer hardware prices have gone up so much people can't afford it anymore. Probably drove down sales. Now we still have one move to inside the loop. Yeah, that would make sense. But Houston's so huge, just so spread out. It would make sense that you would have, you would likely have more than one. Yeah, one of the things that we just did that for a client, we had to buy a couple of computers for to drive content to a very extensive surveillance camera system, and the price is nearly doubled. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Pretty bad. Yeah. So now I got to go to another Apple store, which I know there's another one down nearby, but it's just like I was really hoping just to get rid of these things yesterday, and well, that didn't happen. Anyway, let's continue with some masking, shall we? We did go to it's called Central Square. It is an area in Cambridge, just about a mile south of Harvard. Let's see, 45-minute drive right now at 5 a.m. Well, Look, it's an hour for me to get to the one in Cambridge, but it is totally worth it. Like, if when it comes to going for computer stuff, computer peripherals, computer hardware, unless it's like something I can find like hard drives. If I can find a hard drive cheaper online, I'm going to buy it online. Otherwise, that's where I'm going. Though they don't typically stock a lot of larger drives like the ones I need for my server, but scheisse. Let's turn around this way. Come on. Okay, good, good. That's what we got here. Nice. So we went to a really good in Central Square. That's what I was saying. In Central Square, there's a terrific little Indian buffet, India Pavilion. We've been there, I don't know, half a dozen times. Usually, whenever we go into the Cambridge area and looking to do lunch, that's a great place. The food is really, really good. I mean, not the best Indian I've had, but really, really good, and I mean, wicked cheap. So, and it's a comfortable place to be. It's nice. So we did that. We headed over to Blick Art Supply to go see if there's I looked for the art tool mask. I couldn't find any. I think, and the one that they do have, I guess, in stock, at least online, it's like $100 for like this massive sheet. I'm not doing that. I didn't need that much. So then I looked around, and they had oils, and they had inks, and they had some of the angleless leather paints and all that. I was looking at maybe picking some of that stuff up, and it's like, yeah, I guess there's really no need. It was kind of interesting. Brushes, stuff like that, all sorts of supplies. It's like you look at all that stuff, and it's, oh, this is so cool. And it's like, but do you need it? And the answer is no, not right now. So no money spent at the hardware supplies. I mean, at the art supply store. Before I forget, because I always forget. There we go. Want to make sure I didn't miss anything here. That's bastion of actual computing. In terms of storefronts, I would say yes, you are correct. Okay. Let's get some more of this laid down. So how's everybody else's Saturday? Anybody have anything fun going on? Most online shops are marketplaces now and sketchy. Newegg is not. I believe Newegg is still a warehouser of stuff. I could be wrong. I used to buy a lot of stuff from Newegg, but I haven't in a while. I bought, I think, a hard drive last year, one or two hard drives last year to get my server back up and running. That's kind of it. What the hell was that? Let's see. Newegg definitely does marketplace now. Oh yeah, they do, without a doubt. They also sent me a tax bill back in 2018 after I bought my last PC parts because they just didn't charge tax and tried to make it my problem. Interesting. Hey Joe, good morning. How are you? Trying to figure out which is the best. This is gonna take some time. Just house and yard projects, yeah. Hey Tony, good morning. How are you? Glued a bunch of gravel. Glued a bunch of gravel. That was a new experience. What do you mean by glued? Well, when I hear about gluing gravel, my first thought is, are you working on a model or something or a diorama base? I'm assuming that's what it is. Otherwise, you're a one-to-one gluing. That's interesting. Maybe. Yeah, we're gonna do a little of this. We're gonna super saturate this area with some tape. And boy, do we got a long way to go. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna over saturate this area with masking. Richie. Is Richie here? I don't think I've seen Richie yet. Okay, I hope you are as well. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Blue landscape gravel to keep Nolan from throwing it all over the yard. For real? I've never heard that. Actually glue down gravel. Hey, Mike, good morning. Been a heck of a week. I finally have a minute to hang out. Nice. In about 5 minutes, I'm going to ask people to go. I'm going to go on a bit of a tirade. And those who don't like certain things political, go get yourself a cup of coffee. Not that I think the death of a Vietnam vet is a political thing, but some might view it that way. So I'm just gonna toss that out. But I'm giving the 5-minute warning. So, Mike, glad to see that you're back at the bench. That's good. Before I forget, because I don't think I heard. How was the wedding, Mike? It's good for 6 to 12 months. Really? Gluing things down. Gluing things down. That's weird. I've never heard of actually gluing down one-to-ones. I mean, like actual gravel. So I'm totally fascinated by this, Nick. So you glue it down. I'm assuming gravel. We're talking about like chip stone and stuff like that. So what happens at that point? Do you just it just can't be picked up and I'm guessing thrown? Is that correct? Glue it down. It almost sounds like, you know, like a fixer used on. I mean, everything comes back to models, right? Like if you're doing armor and you're doing like dirt or dust or any kind of like rock stuff, you use like an enamel fixer to glue stuff down. Is it sort of like in that same thing? It's just you're trying to keep all that stuff stuck to that one surface? And I'm guessing it's because you don't want your son picking things up and eating, throwing, or whatever. Okay, getting closer. So I can do one more sliver here. And literally, I'm trying to apply this little sliver of tape to go around that little knobby thing. I think I got it. Okay. Whew. Almost done with that. Then I'm going to do some wrapping around. I don't know why. You know, again, normally I don't have problems with Tamiya masking tape, but just looking at, oh, yeah. Sorry, new camera. But if you take a look at the taping right there, it's lifting. And guys, I'm experimenting with the new camera, so I apologize if things are a little wacky here. It seems to focus very well this way, but as I'm getting closer, it doesn't seem to want to autofocus. And I can't change any parameters on this camera until I get it onto a Windows machine. The wedding was awesome. Finally, a happy reason to spend time with family. Loved it. Seems yes, used to been the opposite. It was a good trip. Mike, I'm very happy for you guys. That's awesome. Wow, really smell like Elmer's glue, but industrial, and also so I can use the leaf blower on it and not send all. Interesting. I'm gonna have to look into that. That's kind of fascinating stuff. I know that we have. It seems like over the years, yeah, same type of thing. You use a leaf blower to get rid of all this stuff in the backyard, and it seems to always toss some of the little marble chips that we have. Interesting thing. I might have to look into that. Look up the minimum focus distance of the lens. Can't focus if you get closer than that. It's possible. That's why I've got to figure out if this camera has that or not. But I can't. I can look at the manual later on. But I'm also, like I said, I like experimenting with things. I'm going to throw it onto the Windows machine that I have in the other room. But it's more MP. Yeah, but I can't focus on things. Yeah, I know. That's the whole thing. People get caught into the whole megapixel thing. Like, this is a 2K. I didn't want to go to a 4K because I wasn't sure if either of my PCs would be able to handle it. And frankly, I don't give a shit about 4K from a broadcasting perspective. So, all right. So, my friends, I hope you don't walk away, but this might be a good time for anybody who wants to not hear this to go get yourself a cup of coffee. A little history about me. I never served. I am generally an anti-war kind of guy. I don't believe in using the military to do a lot of things. I don't believe in um I think there's a lot of wars that we should not be involved in at all. Many mistakes. If anybody's ever watched the PBS Ken Burns Vietnam War, one of the most terrifying things I've ever watched in my life. So when people do serve, though, and it's one of the things as I've gotten older, I've started to understand. You have to distinguish between people who serve and people who don't, or the war, the military might itself. You have to. Sorry, guys, I'm not enough coffee right now. Distinguish between people who serve and people in the war and the act of militarism that's involved. I am absolutely. This is the second time, at least, that you have our president going on and berating a former military officer who, I'm sorry that he was a lawyer that was going up against you, but your commentary on that shows how indecent a human you are. I was blown away. Thank God he's dead. First of all, I don't say that about anybody. And I can't imagine using that kind of language on anybody, particularly people who serve. Yeah, I get it. He didn't you didn't like him because he went after you politically for reasons that are beyond the politics. Okay, he was charged to do that. That was his job. But when you look at the work that he did in the FBI, when you look at his military service, and you're saying, "Thank God he's dead," and that kind of rhetoric is coming from the leader of this nation. No. People that serve and the politics that takes them to war. Yeah. We can certainly go into things that have been unjustified that soldiers have done, that officers have done. But in general, they're called to do a duty. And I'm thinking a lot of the people that probably have served had just walked away from this, probably going to get their coffee. I truly hope not. But I do think that there are a number of people who have served. And imagine somebody coming up to you and because they don't like how you are politically or whatever, and said to you, you know what? You did nothing right and fuck you and thank you for being dead. I think that would be a disservice, right? Same free speech was getting people fired for someone else's death seems to be a one-way system. I'm not sure I understand what that is, Nick. That same free speech was getting people fired for someone else's death. Seems to be a one-way. I don't understand the context there, Nick. I'm sorry. My biggest moral struggles it's knowing that the person who said that finally dies. I am still on the earth. I will likely feel that way about him, and that doesn't make me feel good. Yeah. I'll be honest. When the man who said it dies, there will be parades across the world. I hope not. I don't think so. I think it's one can certainly be praising the death of Charlie Kirk. We're getting fired for those. Oh, well, Nick, do me a favor. Don't conflate. Do yourself a favor and do me a favor. Personally, don't conflate the two. Take that out. What was said about Mueller is unconscionable. And I will tell you right now, if you actually take a look at most of the commentary from those on the left who said, politically on the left, who said about Charlie Kirk's death, that was an obscene thing that happened, versus hearing from our president anytime a political adversary dies and his glee, totally different things, Nick. You are conflating the two and you are completely wrong. And I'm sorry to be so candid with you, but no, you are wrong. Do not conflate the two. In this case here, this man served in the military. He went back, earned the Purple Heart, I think a Bronze Star maybe. And that was because he went back and took care of his soldiers. And even after an injury, he went back in. Okay. He then went into the FBI at the most critical time. He was at the FBI when 9/11 happened. And some of you might be too young for 9/11. I was not. I remember it extremely well. Okay. So I'm just going to say, I don't think it's fair for anybody. Nobody should be gleeful about death. But I will tell you right now, our president has had when it's beneficial to him, he'll cheer it on, and when it's like somebody he was somebody he didn't like, he was happy that they died. I've never heard that coming from the left. Sorry. Again, let's be careful about how we approach certain things. Okay. And I was one of the first people to say, I didn't like Charlie Kirk. I didn't care for him at all. I don't care for his politics. I wasn't happy that he died. And from a lot of the people that I heard about after that, they didn't either. So let's push the Charlie Kirk thing aside. The commentary that came out of our president, the man at the top about, I'm glad he's dead, he was never good for anything, is not a good comment. So the nation his entire life. Yep. And George is being misunderstood. What I take from this is respect you have to the person that serves, even if you disagree with the politics of government that sends them to the action. I think that's, Peter, thank you for clarifying a little bit. Just came out wrong. The president should get the same treatment those with less power got for their free speech. Again, I haven't heard, look, Nick, let's just, you're diverting the conversation, but I'm going to answer this very quickly and then we're going to get back to this. I don't believe anybody should be doxxed or whatever because of their political views, but it happens on both sides, just so you know. So don't just say that this is something like, oh, when Charlie Kirk died and people said some bad shit, or said something like they praised him, he got fired from their organizations. I think it depends on how you come across and say it, but generally speaking, nobody should be fired for their political views. Nobody should be physically harmed, and nobody should be killed for their political views. That's the end of the conversation. But if somebody does die, we should at least have the grace and human dignity to be able to say, this person's life was a life. And if they did good for a country, a people, others, then they should be praised. And because they may not have done the things that you have wanted, not you, Nick, but others have wanted, don't rip into them like that. Especially when people, John McCain, same kind of thing. Okay? So I would not expect that of anybody. And I will tell you, and Robert, I disagree with you. I'm not going to be, or whoever, I'm not going to have any parade for when this president dies. I'm not. I'm going to be like, that's part of our past. Move on from it. Let's move on to the future. But I'm not going to be like this gleeful guy going out there and posting things about how happy I'm going to be about that. I would never do that. And I think that just defines our humanness. By the way, Tom, good morning. How are you? And even Mueller investigating Trump wasn't personal, political. He had a job doing it. He did it. I'll agree there. Fire Trump too. No. Again, this is not about an attack on the president. Meaning that this is not an attack on his policies and what we should do to him. This is about what he did. Let's just call it out. What he said was wrong and evil, and it just shows that he is an amoral person. That kind of commentary I would not expect from anybody, particularly the leader of the free world. Sorry. Nick is saying Trump should be punished for such statements. This came out wrong. The president should get the same treatment of those. Maybe I'm missing something. Okay, I apologize if I'm missing something here. The president should get the same treatment with those less power got for their free speech. When Shirley died, when Reiner died, yeah. Nick, if I misspoke, please correct me. I'm not looking to. This is a hot topic for me because I take the words and actions of people very personally, particularly when things like that come out about people who served our country. I can't believe I'm saying that as a hardcore lefty. We're always looked upon as, you don't care about this country. I love this country. I love this country like you would not believe. And it pains me to see that kind of vileness. So anyway, When it's a moral person, he's entirely. We're going to do this for another 3 minutes until 7 o'clock, and then we're going to come back to model work. Anyway, I hope again I did not misspeak on Nick's part. I guess I'm just trying to understand what the statements were, because I think. Anyway, I'm done with this. Let's just treat people with a level of kindness and humanity, no matter what they are. You have to look at the good that they did, and even if they might have been your political enemy. I'm gonna leave with one. I got another 2 minutes on this. Okay, I'm gonna leave with one final anecdote about this. When I was in college, the president of the university was a bit of an autocrat, and would do stuff that would infuriate the student population. In particular, there was one guy who just got up President Silber's ass, would sit there and take him to task for everything. Undergraduate. And he was very, very vocal and strong in his opposition to President Silber's approach to student rights on campus. He's a senior. He's getting ready to graduate, applying to law school. He went to President Silber and said, I would like you to write me a letter of recommendation. Blew my mind when I heard that. President Silber said, you got it. Well, good, Gio. Sometimes things don't come across. And I apologize, Nick, if I came in really harsh. Like I said, this is a country I really do love. I mean, I might be hardcore left, and it's always viewed that the hardcore left doesn't love this country. That's bullshit. But I also come across from a very moral perspective. I'm done with the people like you want to do stupid things, but when you're amoral in your approach to other people's lives, that I have a problem with. Anyway, thank you for understanding, Nick, and I apologize again if I was a little All right, let's see. Moral things here with Mueller was no political enemy. That's why this is so atrocious. Yeah, no, it's just again. I just look at it purely from it's an amoral thing to do. So with that being said, 7 o'clock, we're done with this topic. Thank you for at least letting me bend your ears on this. I don't know what you guys are talking about, or do I care at this point? Oh, I was making the reference and came back into this. No worries. And again, Tony, if you stepped away, I can understand why you would do that. I'm not going to repeat the reasons why we discuss it, but anyway, if you want to back it up later and listen to it, if you want, if you want to torture yourself, have at it. But yeah, we're good. We're all done. Hopefully your doggo's okay. And now we're going to put the last bit of tape on here. And I truly, truly hope this time it all sticks. Do a little bit more at the top there. Yeah, it is fascinating. Like I said, I generally don't have a problem with Tamiya masking tape, but this time around, it was sort of surprising to me to see how much of it's lifting. Again, you can actually just see if you guys, I know it's not focusing. You can actually see that flap at the back there. Fuck you. Kind of lifting a little bit. We'll need to wait for Thursday. Yeah, this one just because it just it literally Chernobyl for me when I saw that comment. And it was one of those things because I don't do the Thursday stuff nearly as often. And it was just one of those things I just wanted to get off the chest, which is also why I gave the 5-minute warning. Anyway, appreciate your understanding, Nick. Let's all agree that Mary Jane's taffy is amoral and pure evil. I've never had Mary. Is it really? How much longer until the country is going? It wouldn't be surprising. Don't know. All I know is Chuck Norris died, and I'm still waiting for the report that his mission in hell has been a success. That's funny. I got to tell you, I'm not sure I've seen many of his movies, probably a few. I never cared for him as an actor. I never cared for a lot of the films he did. He was involved in a lot of the Golden Globus, even back then it was interesting. And I'm not, again, not a political conversation. A lot of the stuff that was being done there was very much, anti-Arab, pro-Israel, because it was Golden Globus who was doing a lot of that stuff. And I just remember I'm not sure I really care for a lot of this guy's stuff. Was he in the Octagon? I can't recall now. That's how long it's been. Now, you fuck. Trying to round this corner here, and it's like, yeah, it's like shit. God damn it. Yeah, it is fascinating how this stuff is just not laying down. In fact, we're taking that piece of tape off. Here, I thought I could actually do that, but I think we're just going to have to remove this piece right here, which is seriously buried under a bunch of other stuff. Wow. It is crazy how little of this stuff stuck. I've never really had that experience before where stuff like that just did not stick. Maybe it's again, I know that there was commentary yesterday about how about surface. Maybe it's just that this stuff is so the paint that it's being applied to, it's very slick. I have no idea. But damn. Let's see. So I'm getting ready to start the MGSD Destiny, and I spent last night cleaning up. Actually, I'm picking my colors. Nice. Story about Chuck Norris. Yeah. Again, keeping the politics. He was in the one Dragon movie where he fought Bruce Lee. Which one was that? The rip of the chest hair scene? I think I remember him from Walker, Texas Ranger, and the movie Delta Force the most. Yeah, I never watched Walker, Texas Ranger. Again, not really my cup of tea. I don't typically like to watch a lot of main broadcaster detective shows. I just never find them. After a while, they just got really boring. I don't think he was in Enter the Dragon. I mean, if he was, he must have been like some far off. This is way before he merges anything. I don't remember seeing him at all. Okay. We're going to go with a longer piece of tape this time, which will hopefully allow for more of this to be laid down and mask this one area. Because this silver stuff is so beautiful, this polished aluminum finish, I cannot have it ruined. Oh, I see why. It's doing what it's doing now too. I see. I'm gonna do another one of these. Split it in half. That should be better. Except for that fucking little hair. I'm going to do a couple different layers on this one to get the angle right. That seam, man, it's rounding that corner that just sucks. I think I know why now. Okay, I know why, because I'm trying to force it to do something it shouldn't be doing. Hold a sec, guys. I know I've been off. It's probably like going into there. Let's do it that way. We're going to do it a different way. I'm applying this thing poorly. All right, let's see where we were. But the other one, Way of the Dragon. Way of the Dragon, I think Return of the Dragon, maybe. They fought in The Way of the Dragon. It was his first film, and he didn't have his signature beard. Got it. Robert beat me. My Google, if you is still strong. Nice. Way of the Dragon. I couldn't remember until I looked on IMDb. Robert. Wasn't he in Game of Death also? I think he was. That sounds familiar. That sounds familiar. That's better. Now I'm going to lay down. It's going to continue to layer on this thing. I don't give a just don't care. I'm just going to continue to layer on this thing until I get exactly what I want. Go right up the middle. There we go. All right. Tape is down. Great. That tape is already lifting. Love it. Yeah. It was in 1978. And he fought Bruce again. Twice? Hold it. Hold it. When did he fight Bruce Lee? When did Bruce Lee die? Because wasn't it in the it was early 1970s, wasn't it? God, shit, that was close. Okay, that's better. Let's hope it sticks. And so rebuilding an MG new with the metal frame I got from Alan. A metal frame. It's nice, but the fitment issues is, yeah, I'm sure he only fought him once. Yeah. Sling joking references to Old Man George, Volume 235. Strong Google Foo is a reference to good searching. Oh, I get it. Yeah, never heard the term. Yeah, sorry. Old man. That's okay. I can live with being an old man for not knowing all this terminology. There are things that my kids are now saying, and I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? And my wife explains it to me, and I'm like, all right, I get it. And we used to do the same thing. There were words that we used when my parents were like, what the hell are you saying? 1973. That's what I thought. Peter. They were both in Game of Death, and that release in 1978. Don't mean it was filmed in 78. Okay, that makes sense. I think it was pieced together. I can remember. Okay, that's some of this is starting to come back, but it's like in the vague parts of my brain. Have any use for any Tamiya paint spray cans? I've had a customer donate 25 new cans, mostly AS paint. Military, along with a few kits. I'll bring them. I would suggest bringing them to ValleyCon. I don't think that I do, Mike. Mike, what are you bringing? Oh, hold it a second. You're not vending at ValleyCon, are you? Fuck. It was never released as he died during filming. Yeah. Okay, 1972 was when Jody was filmed. That was released later in 78 after Bruce Lee died. Yeah, he wasn't really in it, and Kareem was in it. Yep. I'm sure that there are people who'd be interested in that stuff. I don't do a lot with spray cans now, Mike. I probably should, but I just don't like the shotgunning of stuff everywhere. I'm trying to say MDB full at times. God damn it. Mike's not vending. Mike, you could vend. Put a truck out in the parking lot. Vend from there. Might make a few enemies. And I'm not encouraging that, by the way. Please don't accept it as such. Was the Peter to be read as thank you for explaining the no, Peter, see, the thing is, in the end I'm going to get the last laugh, so it doesn't bother me. I will get the last laugh. I might not even be alive. I'm going to still get the last laugh. I love when young bucks go after old people. Because someday they're going to get old too. And those young bucks are going to make fun of them. Up and over. I mean, this thing is like totally encapsulated at this point. I completely encapsulated this thing now. Let's see. That thing move. Oh, look at that. Ha! Look at that. Let's see. I'm using some spray cans on the PG New runners for the frame, assuming they're safe for ABS. Tamiya cans, if I am correct, are lacquer. I think generally speaking, I don't know. I've never had a problem with lacquers or enamels on ABS. Wasn't really in there as it was archival footage. Yeah, that would make sense. Correct. Not vending, not even sure how long I'll be at ValleyCon. I'll be there most likely not all day. Have to make a yeah. How close is her car to being repaired, Mike? I wasn't going born yet when Bruce Lee died. You wow. Keep forgetting how young some of you guys are. I didn't even know he was until the early 80s. I remember when he died because there was some kids publication in school that talked about remembering, Bruce Lee. Remember, he who laughs last still hasn't got a clue. Yep, might be. Your camera auto zoomed, I know. Zoom enhance. Yeah, I'm experimenting with a new camera, by the way, guys. Digital zoom is turned on. Indeed, they are. I just emailed Tamiya to ask them. Just prime it before spraying. Yeah, it's finished. and full of. Yeah. See, Mike, the problem isn't, is it full of oil? The question is, will it remain full of oil? Correct? All right. Sorry. Where's the camera? There we go. All masked. Now, if I can only get this thing to actually autofocus, which I'm going to have to, like I said, we'll be. I wasn't doing this before, so what the hell did I do differently? Anyway, ready to go. So I think we're going to be using some wicked thinned of this NATO. Sorry, I keep going to this camera. I apologize. This NATO brown, which you can't read because, you know, here, look how much you can read this. Okay, let's experiment here. Let's see if it actually autofocuses. I'm just going to keep it here for a moment. No, go figure. All three OG Star Wars movies are older than me. I know. Yeah, but you have like 10 years on. I know I do. I know. I know I do. Pull it back 3 inches. Can try. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Here, we're about 4 inches away. 4 inches. Let's see what happens. You turn on auto zoom, but not autofocus. I haven't turned on anything. This camera is plugged into a Linux machine. And there's no easy way of going in and making camera adjustments, so you know that kind of thing. So I'm going to connect it to a Windows machine and see if I can make some changes to it, which I think I can. It better stay full. Yep. TJ by 1 year. Wow, dude, I was in, was it 83 when Return of the Jedi came out? I was starting my, I was ending my junior year of high school. Jesus Christ. You turn on auto zoom, but not autofocus. It's focused on your hand, not the bottle. It seems to be focused on my face. This thing is supposed to have some kind of AI shit going on, and I think that's what it's doing. That's why it's kind of like doing some auto shit like that. Yeah, I'm not going to experiment much with it today. Like I said, I'm going to work on this when I get some time later today or sometime this week. Then we in and just his face, especially eyes when showing products up close. So I finished the K-drama Reply 1988. Makes me feel so nostalgic about my elementary years. Good series. Why are you using a Linux machine? My laptop is a Linux because it was an old Windows machine that was having problems, and it was my old work laptop, and I said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna turn it into an Ubuntu rig," and it's been great. I love it. Everything I need to do with it, between word processing, emailing, the stuff that I kind of need it for, it's not designed to do anything better than that. So because of that's what it's used for. It's been perfect. And YouTube, you know, I'm using what is it? I'm using Firefox, connecting to YouTube, and everything's fine. You know, laughing yet? Always tech laughing at you. And Windows was the problem. Windows was the problem. Oh yeah, Windows was the issue. It actually, what happened was, there was the reason why I had my laptop updated. First of all, this is an older laptop, but the reason we updated was because it lost a lot of USB connectivity and audio capability. So trying to do Zoom calls and everything like that for work, it wasn't working. So we replaced the laptop. This thing just kind of sat around for about 6 months. I took it home, made it into an Ubuntu machine, and everything is working fine. Was what got me a passing grade in my one PC class in trade school. Really? Cool. No laughing, but was laughing when Gio said Windows was giving him some problems. Oh, yeah. Why, are you surprised by Windows giving people problems? I fucking hate Windows. The only thing that's worse, my wife was setting up her new MacBook yesterday. I hate Mac. I just Apple products, you can keep them. No fucking thanks. I want to get Google on there. Google Chrome. It should not have been as difficult as it was. Oh, look at us when you speak. How rude. Happy now? Gotta run. Have a great day, everyone. Have to work today. Ooh, Kim wants to hit up a pancake breakfast fundraiser somewhere before work. Nice. Hope to see if you. Yeah, Mike, absolutely. Have a good one, brother. We'll see you next week. Let's see. Windows is the problem. Universal constant and truth. Windows has been a mess lately, I suppose. Again, I'm not a power user in that regard. I don't do any kind of like hardcore graphic stuff or anything like that. So none of this stuff really matters. It's just get me to be able to connect to my different devices, and that kind of thing, and I'm fine. I'm jamming AI and ad tracking into it. They've been jamming everybody's jamming AI. Everything is AI. Yesterday I had a call. Friday, I had a call to set up a to confirm an appointment for my wife getting her auto glass replaced. There's no easy way of getting any. You can't call the local shop. You have to call the national number. I do that. The menu system sucks. Trying to get answers to what time can we drop the car off? What time do we need to pick it up? Because we were going to be out of town. So I then say, you know what? Let me get you to a real to an operator. It was an AI operator. It was the wackiest experience. Did they give me answers? They got me like 95% of what I needed. But you couldn't ask the question in a way that would give you a better answer. Anyway, I really am thinking of swapping to Linux. There are some pluses and minuses. There is software that I do use on a regular basis that's I can't get onto this machine. When I actually change over to more of a PC based system here, it will be a Windows machine that'll do it. Really moving to where you could run it off a CD and have a second OS that way. I could do that with this machine too if I wanted to. Just have to boot up from a USB drive, I guess. You're not worthy of our Apple products. Fine. Great. I'm glad I'm not worthy. Keep the fucking things. They don't make sense. Hey, I'd like to get music from point A to point B. Yeah, the rigmarole you have to do for no. Good morning, Emma. Oh, right here. Hi. Sorry, experimenting with a new camera. Work is jamming AI. Really? I can make the last Linux version I try work for me since I am lazy and don't want to write. Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm totally lazy about it. I've done command line stuff on my server, and that's about as far as I want to go. There's some stuff going on with this machine too that I could probably go into command line stuff. It's like I don't really want to play with it. It's like I'm not looking to become a Linux master user. It's just not my thing. And there's so much. I've driven down to stores to ask questions because these systems are not good enough to really understand human questions, and they just take forever. But Apple is Linux. Yes, it might be. That's fine. It's a different version of Linux, one that's got so much crap sitting on it, it sucks. Don't ruin his illusion. No, I knew it was Linux. It's the reason why trying to do any kind of malware and stuff and everything like that is a lot more difficult. No, but Apple product, it just the whole user experience, in my opinion, it's just awful. I used to, just so you know, I used to be an Apple guy back through the early 2000s, and then it's like, no, there's just too many challenges, too much jump, and especially when you had peripheral devices that you needed to connect to, the iTunes thing back in the day. It's like, no, this is stupid. I can transfer music files, I can transfer video files, photo files without any thought. Try to do that with iDevices? No, it sucks. I had an interview with an AI. Hold it. Did you really? It's still better than Windows. You can keep it. That's fine. Don't get me wrong. They both have their own suckiness to them. But yeah, you can keep Apple. And again, it's a personal thing. My wife is like, yeah, it's like I suggest to her, why don't you get yourself a PC? When we were at Micro Center, she's like, no, I'm gonna, I like Apple. Oh, all right, fine. Keep it. All right, this is done. Let's go up there, ready to be painted. That will get done today. Now, let's start. Let's start with paint cleanup. First things first, going to catalog. She's smarter than you. My wife is totally smarter than me. Absolutely. As a prospective employer. Yeah, exactly. Welcome to anyway. The AI conversation is another one that is like once Jobs died, Apple became a brand and not a friendly to confuse. Yeah, I think so. That might be true. But I mean, don't get us wrong. He was like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know enough about what he was doing. I mean, he certainly brought the company back from the brink, which is a good thing, I guess. Currently moving music to my MP3 player on MacBook by simply copy paste, not understanding George. Yeah. Okay. MP3 player, good for you. They used a not understanding George. Yep. Maybe it's just, again, maybe things have changed. We're trying to get my music files. Like if I want, first of all, everything I have was also in FLAC because I've been collecting music forever and a day. Can't do FLAC on a Mac. I don't understand that. Yes, I'm sure you can get another a FLAC player, but natively you can't do it. That's just bullshit. There's an interview for the first round. I gotta tell you, that is just so. There's something wrong about that. Like, really wrong. Yeah, copy paste across from my server over possibly, but in between my like a phone and everything like that. No. Again, I've also looked. Let's be honest. I'm not gonna. Gio is just an old boomer. I like to consider myself a young boomer, or maybe an older Gen Xer. I can't. I'm serious. I hope I'm alive long enough for you guys to start doing the same thing. I can't believe what's changed in this. Okay. All right, third gen. Let's start getting these paints in here. 11210. Right there. Y'all are going to have a fun time. Natural steel. I love that color. This goes over here because that's going to be at the paint booth. Arguing about computer stuff, always. Remember, his first computer was in Cobalt. My first computer? No, was a MacBook. Was a MacBook 140. The first one that I owned? Yeah, 1989 was a MacBook. $3,000. I still have it. I'd love to get the content off of it, but I think it's just that thing is so fucking dead now. I don't even know how to do that. Let's see. The first computer that I did use? I don't remember. It was probably a no, I used a Tandy TRS-80. Love those days. Ken, good morning. How are you? I mean, we're doing it right now with the AI interviews and so I can't. First of all, that's the thing. So at some point, this generation is going to be this up and coming generation is going to be completely accepting of AI interviews, and you guys are all going to be like, AI. Depends on what you grow up with. Okay, I have to go take Dad coffee and get some stuff in the basement. I will catch everyone later. Tony, Have a good rest of your Sunday, my friend. Thanks for being here today. I really do appreciate it. Tom, time we're that old, you will have forgotten how to use the current technology to keep in touch. Maybe. That's an interesting conversation. We might have to have in person, Nick. First I used was an Apple IIe. I used an Apple IIe for the credits on one of the films I shot in college. That was fun. It actually was kind of fun. Forgot. Morning, Ken. George is hating on Mac OS for being junk. Yep, can't stand Mac on top of Linux, like Linux, Ubuntu, or using other distros just with other junk on top of Linux. No idea what that is, but okay. Meow. Hold it a second. What's going on? What's the meow with the sad face? Unless the AI interview is deeply dehumanizing. Yeah, exactly. People seeking employment doesn't say much about how you're going to treat it. Yeah, I wouldn't want to work at a company that did that. We're going to give you an AI interview. I appreciate it very much, and I thank you very much for the opportunity. If you don't mind, I think I'm going to pass. First computer I used was like 3 discs to start up. Yeah, I don't know what it was. Yeah, Apple will get him all riled up. I can't stand Apple products. Yeah, sorry. Again, personal experiences. The other thing is, like, for me with PCs, the stuff that I do. There's, as much as Apple products are the stuff that we work with in terms of like control systems. Like if you want to have a C4 control app or Lutron lighting app, the first app they're going to build is one for within Apple. However, the software to program those systems, all PC based. I want to program a Lutron homework system. I need a PC. I want to program a Control 4 system. I need a PC. 3 discs to start up. I remember those. I still have I just tossed out a bunch of diskettes. Bunch of them. Was in first grade when I used it. That's so awesome, man. That's the one thing I think is really good about a lot of this stuff. That there's so much so much that kids that grew up with PCs. Looks like my girls grew up with tablets. It's a good thing. It's good to have the technology there. It just as long as we don't become addicted to it. I still have Geo's first. Here is a stone disc. Yes. You guys take your pop shots. I'm good. The interviewer were a dinosaur. I wouldn't mind. Apple products are fine if you're using the iPhone. Yeah, exactly. You have to use their entire architecture. Exactly. Try to get in and interact with any other brand. Yeah. Oh, good luck. Yeah. And again, everybody's got their deal. 11208. And if you like Apple products, go for it. Dark aluminum. Actually, they call it dark aluminium. I love it. They're doing the British version. Dark aluminium. Oops. 1207. Standard aluminum or aluminium. Oops. No. Silver. Give me a second, guys. I'll be right there. And what I'm doing is I'm cataloging all this stuff because I'm going to start putting paints away. Next few days, we're going to be doing bench cleanup. Windows allows many different products, whether the products they work 100% of the time is a coin toss. Yes, I get that. I like Apple mobile products because my last couple of Android phones were buggy messes that like to brick themselves randomly when I need them. Interesting. But some things are just best done on a PC. Yeah. It depends on what your applications are. And what pain you can tolerate. 1121. Oily steel. Oh, I love that. Just that just sounds so nice. One, 2, 1, 2. Gunmetal. Okay, these are ready to be put away. Do something with that. I'm going to break out these bins in just a little bit. And we're going to start putting paints away. Hey, Apple products, because I don't want products that perform their stated purpose at best levels. If you say so, defines on again. If I want to fire up my Control 4 programming environment on an Apple, why do I want to jump through hoops in order to dual boot in order to make that happen? That's stupid. So, is it the right product for me? No. What you need to do with it, and business stability is what you need. Back end, you use your front end, so end up with some Linux in the back end and all Windows in the front end. The Apple, then Apple for mobile. You can keep your nah. Again, it's what we're used to. Not my cup of tea. All right, let's take a look and see what's in this package here, because this includes some contrast colors, if I'm correct. Yeah. Human flesh. This is intensity, medium, high, low, medium, and high. Interesting. Human flesh, dark flesh, crimson red. So these appear to be, these are third generation, but they're really, really liquidy. These are called Quick Gen, which I'm assuming are just a very, very thin paint to apply like a filter. I'd say that's forced workaround for unstated purpose. Okay. Android's nice for individual use, but holy crap, is it a pain in the ass to troubleshoot. Okay. For business, it's a pain in the ass, as we have some of the conference rooms. Okay. Android for people who like tweaking things and don't mind troubleshooting. I'm neither these days. Teenage me would have been fine. All right, let's get some of these in here too. Okay. Hello. Look at this. They even include, like here, in the packaging, they actually include like little dishes, I guess, for the paint. Interesting. AK figure paint. So this is interesting. Light flesh. This must be from this is like from a different line of paints. I mean, it's still a third gen acrylics, but interesting. Those are for dipping sauces. I think you're right, Ray. Ray, welcome. What's going on, brother? Love arguing with George. He is like my wife. Logic doesn't count, but feelings are valid arguments. Logic doesn't count. Okay. Moving on. And they are managed through Windows boxes too. In the end, we in technology hate every single OS, but love them all at the same time. Yeah, I don't want to be in the South anymore. Yeah. Are you still down there, Ray? dude, Ray, without getting, I mean, you can answer or not, it's up to you, but it's like, what are you doing down there for like a week? You went to an auto zone, you got a cat. That's the only thing I know for certain. AK11004. Damn. Ivory. Oops. Woo. Sorry, guys. How's my kitty? The real question, yeah, he's collecting kittens along. I think so. Group hug. There's a fucker with my aunt's caretaker. She's in memory care, and they were taking. Oh my God, Ray, are you serious? So now we're here until we can figure out helpers and potentially a lawsuit. Oh my God, Ray. Wow. Ray, question for you is I'm assuming she's lived there for a long while, and that's why she's in a facility there. There's no possibility of moving her back into the Northeast for maybe a closer support of her. Again, other family might be there. I'm just kind of curious. Wow. Ray, I'm so sorry to hear that, brother. That sucks. Basic skin tone. Even people like that deserves a different kind of hell. I don't understand that. I don't understand that at all. Yeah, it sucks. She's in home and had private care. A lot of moving parts, and it all sucks. Hence why I needed a kitten. Yeah, yeah. Ray's hell, Ray. Absolutely, dude. I'm glad. Yeah. So Ray, you don't know how long you're going to be down there. Then you might be there for a little while, dude. I am so sorry to hear that. And then I guess I got to put these quick gens. Assuming it's a filter. All right, Katie made me leave my gun at home. Nice. Which is the speed paints, right? I think that's what it is. Yeah. This is this is the kit that I picked up while I was at ODO. So it gives you the ability to do, it gives you 3 paints and then 3 quick gens, which I think you're right. I think they are sort of like that speed paint, that contrasty kind of stuff. What do they call it in Citadel? It might just be contrast paints. The gun purchasing should be a breeze down south. Uh, 17. You purchase a gun out of state, just takes longer for the background check. Crimson Red. I'm assuming with these quick gens, you can also do a lot better sort of wet blending type of stuff. So those contrast paint, Army Painters, speed paints, Vallejo, I think is intensity. And AI would be quick gen. AK would be quick gen, yeah. It's a breeze to buy a gun in any state, Tom. Red. Oops. Human flesh. Oop. The Vallejo Model Air. It was just like speed paint, Tom. The point was me not committing a felony. Love it. It's not NYC. So much paperwork. Oh, 61. How much time I got? 9 minutes. I'm gonna bail here at 8 o'clock. Dark flesh. Okay. Great. Saved. These are ready to go. Good evening, Edwin. How are you, my friend? How are you feeling? And family is now in town for festivities, right? There. Okay. So other paints I can get rid of. I'm gonna get rid of all of these, all of them. I might pull out a table down here and just start going through all of this stuff tomorrow. We'll see. But I want all of this gone. Put away. It's the same amount of paperwork to get any Class 3 weapon. Don't argue with Nick. This is his point. This is his area of expertise. Hellcat is done. Love it. So you'll have something to bring with you next weekend to ValleyCon, right? Family just came by for Ramadan. Now watching my print to be played. Watching my print to be played next Saturday. Should be done Wednesday. My print to be played. Oh, played next week at the table. Got it. That's if I go. I thought you were. You committed, didn't you? Or did I commit you? I can't recall now. It's one of those two. Verify that I got these. I can believe someone know. Have you watched the 6-episode series, The Madison by Taylor Sheridan? I love it so much. To identify the feelings of loss depicted from the loss of my dad. I have not. What is The Madison and where is it available? You committed me. I never committed. Yes, that is correct, Tom. See, you're learning. You're catching on. 11105. Light rust, dark rust. Medium rust. Medium, light, dark. Well, it's interesting if they order, but okay. It's ready to go. Okay. Those paints are done. Is there a standard greeting or message of support for Ramadan, like how we say Merry Christmas and when it would be appropriately used? It would be good to know. I know that if memory serves, I think, I'm not sure if it's after Ramadan is done, but one would say Eid Mubarak. I'm not sure if one says that during. I apologize, my ignorance of Muslim holidays and statements, unfortunately. But I would like to know. This paint will be readied as well to get onto that plane. These other two are going away. Oh, this paint's going to go away. I think we'll actually put this stuff away too. Just say Happy Eid. Nice. This is why I ask. Absolutely. I feel the same way. 100%. All right. What do we got here? Be nice to get this shit off the floor. Madison series created for Paramount Plus. The series stars Michelle Pfeiffer and Kurt Russell. Oh, nice. I'll have to wait for it to come out on disc. We don't have Paramount Plus. It's appropriate to say it on eve of the celebration and the day itself. There we go. Thank you again for clarifying that, Edwin. I'm sure I'll be asking multiple times as well, but thank you for clarifying that. All right. I got a jar full of stuff. How much time I got? 4 minutes. Let's pop this stuff open. Let's see if I can get a model in here. I really would like to do that. Let's start with the task. Which also included English instructions back in the day. Le water slide. This model, in fact, there's so much. So I created so much. This is going to be fun. I remember when I was working on this model back in the day, I did so much to make this thing become a posable figure and hiding gaps and everything like that. I'm done with that. This is now going to be it's going to get redone, and all of it is going to be done in such a way that it's going to be a statue. Like filling in so much stuff in the knee area, because that just looks like ass dump. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with His family originally from New York City, who relocated to the Madison River Valley in Southwest Montana for emotional recovery following a major life-changing tragedy. Oh, interesting. Yeah. What's going on with the kitty, the sad kitty face? Similar to how Catholics Lent leads to Easter. Yes. That's Emma. Don't know why she's putting frown faces. What's going on? Quitter. Quitter of what? What did I quit? Oh, man. So much stuff. Let's get the springs out of here. Do not want to lose those. Those are springs that will be used. Oh, look, I think these are dead runners. Right there. I'm going to clip these things off. I'm going to get rid of these runners. Got 2 more pieces up here. And because everything is sequentially numbered on these models, as opposed to, I don't have to worry about trying to remember, is this on sprue A, sprue B? Save the tag, because I always save the tag off a model. One ancient runner ready to be tossed. Hey, Lucas, good morning. How are you? Happy Sunday to you. No display only in ValleyCon. That is correct. Put it on the table, Tom. Who cares? We get to see your work. It doesn't matter. I take it back. There may be a display only table. I do not recall. I do not recall now. Do not recall. There we go. Another dead runner. Recycle. And this is definitely dead. Jeez. Could have gotten rid of this stuff a long time ago. Would have saved a lot of space. Dead. Okay. Wait, this stuff is all, yeah, this must have been like polycap material. That's dead. Wait, Valiant doesn't have a display only option. That will change what I bring. You'd have to take a look. I don't know. They may have a display only area. I do not recall. Shield, backpack, chest, literally lead feet. When they do have an insert for the bottom, I'm gonna have to do some gap filling in there to get that all squared away. Though likely nobody's gonna see the bottom of the foot, but oh yeah, man, I had fun with that. This is going to be a fun model to work on again. I'm actually, I really would love to get back to this one at some point. Love to get back to this model again. Okay. Get rid of staples. Let's see. Going back a bit. I spent a lot of effort to make this model posable, but I'm done with that. When I first started working on this model, Peter, about 5 years ago, I did do exactly that. And this was started about a year before I started working on the glouge. At which point I started realizing, if you want to get these things to look right, you can't do that. You can't have them posed. Again, the stuff they used to do inside of boxes, stuff is pretty cool. Instructions. The thing about modeling is if you lose a piece, you can always create. That is correct. I also need to read the Holy Book because there are sometimes cherry picking on the verses to justify one opinion or behavior. Gee, Edwin, we do that here in this country too with our crazy Christianity. There's always going to be that, unfortunately. Yeah, but it's good that sometimes you have to go back to the source, read it, maybe get a little bit of erudite opinion on what you read if you have questions about it. Anyway, good for you, Edwin. If they do, they don't advertise it on the flyer. Cherry picking is the essence of all religions. I am well. What's good in George land? Things are going well. It's going well, Lucas. You know, work is still crazy and insane and driving me, you know, mad. But for the most part, pretty good. There. Just get this thing closed up now. Jeez, that was a battle. There we go. And I'm going to break down the box, and the box top I always save. And how are things in your world, Lucas? Hopefully all is going well. Verses of the Bible is one of the biggest pet peeves. Yep. George time. Yep. It is time. The current state of the country is due to cherry picking a verse from the Bible. What model is that? What country does the funeral strippers? I'd like that one. Taiwan, Ray. Taiwan. And of course, Tom would know that one. That's where Tom wants to be married. This is the task. It's from Southern Cross, Super Dimension Cavalry Southern Cross. It's the third of the second or third of the Super Dimension series. Macross being the first, Orgus being the other one. I mean, these things are they're gorgeous. This is these are models that I've been collecting as well. There's a bunch, like the majority of those there that you see, they never produced, which kind of bums me out because there's some really cool ones in there. But they did produce, I think, like 12 of them. I like to attend one funeral with a stripper. Yeah. Anybody having strippers in Taiwan? It also doubles as a gender reveal party. Nice. All right, putting away that tool. We're going to take this box apart, and then we are calling it a session. And I'm doing this in such a way. Let's get this. I just got to get the staples out of here. Like I save the box tops because I think that they produce some really great artwork, particularly in some of the older boxes. What are these, copper staples? Damn. Sure, shooting do look like copper. Is the third? Yeah. Couldn't remember which of the three it was, but yeah. I was at a gender reveal. Turned 45 yesterday for my midlife. I quit my job. Holy. Whoa. Lucas, you can't pop in here, say that. I'm about to bail in a couple of minutes. Lucas, for real? First of all, congratulations. Happy birthday. I'm very happy for it. 45. I barely remember mine, but that's fantastic. Congratulations. But Lucas, what? Whoa, what happened? Instead of emotions and grief and yeah, exactly. Wow. Let's see if we get the short version of this. Well, Lucas, yes, this is the second. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna take, like I said, I'm taking this box apart, and then we're gonna call it a session. And I'm hoping, yeah, boy, Lucas, yeah, I'm hoping Lucas will pop in again soon and let us know. Happy birthday, I think. Only old people are 45. Stay clearly from my youth at 44. You know, you can always stop aging. My mother stopped at 29. Have you ever tried to uninfluence your friend from your hobby, but your friend end up taking the same hobby? I don't think I've ever dissuaded somebody from being in the hobby. No, not at all, Edwin. Wait, what does that make me at 46? I'm going to let Peter answer that one. Is Lucas, there we go. I was like, did Lucas go away? Is being geriatric a hobby? I don't know if it's a hobby, but it's certainly a thing. For real, there goes 160K a year, but faith better will come. Long story short, worked 6 years to taking over the top shop of the month, moved to Georgia. Then a few months ago, he's building living quarters. Hold it a second. Let me read this. For real, there goes 160K a year, but faith better will come. Long story short, worked 6 years to taking over the shop. Boss moved to Georgia. Then a few months ago, he's building living quarters. Oh, yeah. In the shop along with car lift. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Lucas, the writing there was kind of on the wall. He wasn't going to go anywhere. Funny enough, Lucas, in a somewhat more toned down version, that's kind of what we're going through too, with the owners like, I want out, but he consistently, puts himself into his business all the time and is always there. It's like, dude, we don't need you. You're telling us you're going away. Go away. You're telling us you want to sell it. You don't sell it. Wow, Lucas, I'm so sorry, my friend. Right now, a friend is probably going to play Warhammer. Hey, it happens. Y'all are. It's like a geriatric clinic here. Yep, it sure is. Don't you feel young, youngster? They're more influencing than uninfluencing. Apparently, can't step away. Yep. That was Mandry. If you can make it, it makes you a spry young whippersnapper, barely 2/3 of. Nice. 2 more people walked the following Monday, including my son. Really? Well, congratulations to him. I mean, that's got to do some damage to the business, right? All right. I'm going to set the rest of these plastic bins here. We're going to work on that. Again, this is going to be the thing I'm going to be working on the next few days, guys. Just going to be packing stuff up. Actually, let's get some tape on here and write what model is in there. Wow. I should just send him the file so he can print proxies for himself. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense, Edwin. Hey, if he wants in on the hobby, have at it. That's on both sides. Love it. Oh, well. Okay. Gonna write the name on here and then we are done. If I can find a fucking marker. There it is. Oh my God. After I left, he made mandatory 11-hour day, Monday through Saturday. Is that even legal? Oh, I did get a new display cabinet. Good for you, Tom. Congratulations. Nice. Will it be able to support your PG new? From one box to another. Progress. You know what? This is about just efficient storage right now, Nick. Thanks for letting me answer that one, George. Yeah, of course. Glad to have you be my mouthpiece. It's smaller box though. Hopefully I'm back for ValleyCon. Worst case, I should be back for PatCon. Oh God. Yeah, Ray, I got to tell you, given what you just described, I'm hoping you make it back, but it sounds like you got a lot on your plate there. Can you make someone work 11 hours, 6 days? I don't think you can. But then again, we're in a different state. You know, up here, that wouldn't fly at all. There we go. Task is up there. Kind of. Right there. Along with the box top. We're going to stack the box tops too. Yeah, I just got to, so I could display the PG new. You have a chance to shout at your former boss. This is America, not China. Yeah, exactly. Jesus, man. Wow, that's unbelievable. Man, it's a good way of putting your company basically out of business. Wow. That's just crazy. Lucas, all the best, man. And I'm sure that you're going to land on your feet because you seem like a very smart and capable guy with a lot of good experience. You're going to do fine. Yeah, good job to quit. That's just that kind of like, you know, taking, you know, making the employees just be kind of like, yeah, it is what it is. I can't even go any more into that. You can get started on that. Can you send your old boss a copy of The Judge from Upton Sinclair? Yeah. Looking at my 37-hour per week contract and counting my blessings. Exactly. All right, guys, stay safe and stay sane. Thanks for being on this morning. I do appreciate it. Time for me to bail. But guys, go out there and do good. Brighten the world as much as you possibly can. As I said, you know, at the very beginning here when we were talking earlier, look, kindness can go a very long way. We don't have to be mean and nasty and, you know, loathing of others. We can show kindness. Even if we don't agree with people, we can still be kind. And I'm going to start by just saying, hey, Nick, by the way, if I did come across a little too harsh and I misunderstood something, I do apologize, you know. So anyway, thank you for hearing me out earlier. But anyway, guys, go out there and do good. Brighten the world as much as you possibly can. Crazy mixed up world. It's up to us at this level, taking it out to make it a better place. All right. Do good. Enjoy the day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll be working on cleaning the desk, and I'll let you know what I get done on the plane. I'll show you. All right. No feelings hurt here. I appreciate it, Nick. Thank you for your understanding. Anyway, guys, love you all. Catch you on the flip. Peace.